Hi everyone, welcome to my tutorial. Today we'll be discussing the differences between perfect and imperfect flowers, as well as the differences between monoecious and dioecious. So here's a little background before we get started. Angiosperms, which is another word for flower in this case, they reproduce sexually. Plants use meiosis to produce spores and mitosis to produce gametes. A plant has 4 groups of organs that are made from modified leaves, which you can see those different types of organs right here. So we have the carpels, which are in the center, surrounded by a circle of stamens, and then we have the petals, and then the sepals are usually just below the petals. But for today, we're going to focus mainly on the carpels and the stamens. The carpels are the female sex organs that contain the developing female gametophytes, and then the stamens are the male sex organs that produce microspores, which are the male gametophytes. Let's start with the perfect flowers. Perfect flowers have both carpels and stamens. An example of this is lilies. So here we have a lily, and you can see how the carpel is in the center, the female organ, and then it's surrounded by a bunch of stamen. And then we have the petals, and then the sepals are located just below it, even though you can't see it in this picture. On to the imperfect flowers. The imperfect flowers are the opposite of the perfect flowers. They either have male parts or female parts. But there are 2 categories for imperfect flowers. There's monoecious and dioecious. Monoecious has female and male flowers on the same plant. So take our corn plant, for example. At the very top of the corn plant, we have the stamen, which release the pollen, and then lower on the plant, we have the female flower, which is the carpel. This physical separation of the male and the female flowers help to prevent self-fertilization. Self-fertilization is also known as selfing. Now, selfing can be bad for the population because it reduces the amount of genetic diversity, and it's also can lead to inbreeding. Another way to prevent selfing is if the flowers mature at different times on the same plant. So say the pollen in the stamen matures faster. The pollen will be released before the female flower on that same plant opens, so there's no chance of the pollen accidentally falling down to the carpel. Next is dioecious. It's the opposite of monoecious. Dioecious plants have only male or female parts. The female flowers are located on a completely different plant than the male flowers. This means that it takes 2 plants for reproduction to occur. With the 2 plants having different organs, sex organs, selfing is not possible. Here we have the red campion as our example of a dioecious plant. So here's the male flower, and you can see the stamen coming out of it right here, which is clearly different than the carpel in this female flower. Alright, it's time to review. Perfect flowers like this lily have both carpels and stamens, but imperfect flowers only have male or female organs. There are also 2 categories of imperfect flowers, monoecious and dioecious. Okay, so a way that you can remember monoecious has male and female flowers on the same plant is think mono meaning 1. So 1 plant, both parts. Just remember though that these have a physical separation or the flowers mature at a different time. As for the dioecious, think di meaning 2. So you have to have 2 plants to reproduce. And remember that with dioecious, selfing is not possible since the plant has either male or female organs. It doesn't have both, so it can't self-pollinate itself. And this concludes my tutorial. Thank you for watching.